when you consider pay-per-view sales, when you consider the money that you've made, when you consider how you can give lessons on how to make money outside of your profession, marketing your profession. There's nobody that would even challenge you on that.
And if you in the NFT world and you betting on me, you will never lose. But what I need you to do right now, go get May Reverse. That's my new NFT. I've been working on that for months. If I win, you win. Money May, money May, money May all day. You know, right here, a light million. Over there, counting up another million over there. Walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life.
Richard Lawson just confirmed the rumor that Beyonce may have sabotaged Bianca Lawson's career, and it's explosive. Richard Lawson cracked open a pot of tea that's been simmering for decades, and now it's boiling over. The veteran actor, yes, Tina Knowles' ex-husband and Beyonce's former stepdaddy, just hinted at what fans have been whispering about for years, that Queen Bey herself may have played a role in keeping her own stepsister, actress Bianca Lawson, from reaching superstardom. For those who don't know, Bianca is Richard's daughter, which makes her Beyonce and Solange's stepsister by marriage. And listen. Listen, Bianca's resume isn't just impressive, it's iconic. We're talking Saved by the Bell, The New Class, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Pretty Little Liars, Queen Sugar, cult classics stacked one after another. Yet despite all that work, she never quite cracked that A-list household name level. Bianca has always been that familiar face you recognize, the scene stealer, the quiet force in the background, but never the one splashed across buildings.
So right now, with the Money team, I know my man Rick right here, he chilling. He don't say much. So it's not, it's nothing like riding on the Air Mayweather, big boy private jet. And do best. That's 700,000. That's 700,000.
Billboards are getting top billing, and people have always wondered why. That's where Richard's recent comments shook the table. He didn't drop Beyonce's name directly, but his words were loaded. He praised Bianca's talent, her decades of hustle, and then blamed politics in the industry for why she didn't go higher. But when you're talking about the Knowles family and you say politics, the streets don't hear Hollywood politics. They hear Knowles-Carter politics. And that's where things get juicy. Richard's choice of words lit a match under long...
When I got involved with the WWE, it was like, you and Big Show gonna have a matchup. I said, what you mean? He said, y'all can fight. I said, what do you mean fight? Is it for fake? They said, no. Y'all fight for real? I'm like, I thought wrestling was fake. So when I punched him in the face, I broke his nose, and I was like...
Standing whispers that Beyonce's camp allegedly made sure nobody in her orbit could ever shine brighter than her. Think about it. Bianca Lawson, with her beauty, her undeniable talent, her steady grind. She could have been that girl, but instead, she was cast again and again as the sidekick, the best friend, the background beauty, never the star. And fans are now saying Beyonce liked it that way. To make it even messier, Richard has always been Bianca's loudest cheerleader. Every interview, every red carpet moment, he gushes about his daughter. So when his tone suddenly shifted, when he acknowledged that outside forces may have limited her, people heard confirmation of the sabotage they've been crying about since the early 2000s. And let's not pretend this would be a brand new story. Hollywood is full of tales about superstars keeping the spotlight by dimming the lights around them. Remember Diana Ross versus Florence Ballard? Madonna and her proteges? More recently, people swore Kris Jenner pushed all the attention onto Kim while Khloe and Kourtney got stuck in the shadows. Fame is a currency, and sometimes not even family ties stop someone from protecting their empire. Now the messy question is front and center. Did Beyonce, the most powerful black woman in music, really pull strings to block her own stepsister from breaking into A-list territory? Richard Lawson didn't have to spell it out. The internet already did the math, and the story is trending like wildfire. Because here's the gag. This is a family that built an empire on talent, image, and control. And the thought of one sister allegedly keeping another from her shine, That's the kind of scandal you cannot sweep away with a glossy Vogue cover. If you've been watching TV and film over the past 30 years, you've seen Bianca Lawson's face, even if you didn't realize it. She's the actress who pops up in hit after hit, kills her role, and then slips back into the background while someone else soaks up the fame. And that is exactly why fans are revisiting her career now with a serious side eye. Because when you line up her credits, it looks like Bianca Lawson should have been a household name a long time ago. Let's rewind to the start, the mid-90s. Bianca breaks into the industry with Saved by the Bell, The New Class, and the rest is history, or maybe the story that was never allowed to fully happen. Now, this is where the whispers get loud, because usually, when an actress lasts as long as Bianca Lawson has, she eventually lands that one role. You know, the blockbuster, the cultural shifting lead that cements her as the star. But with Bianca, it's always felt like she's the bridesmaid, never the bride. Always booked, always working, but never crowned. So what happened? Some folks blame timing. The late 90s and early 2000s weren't exactly a golden age for black actresses landing lead roles. Unless your name was Halle Berry or Angela Bassett, Hollywood tried to keep you boxed in as the best friend, the love interest, or the supporting character. That's the excuse some run with. But others, they're not buying it. Because let's be real, Bianca had everything. Longevity, talent, consistency, and a Hollywood bloodline most aspiring actresses would dream of. Her father, Richard Lawson, her stepmother, Tina Knowles, her stepsisters, Beyonce and Solange, the connections were right there. So how does someone with that much talent and family pull never level up? That's where the sabotage whispers come sliding back in. Fans say Beyonce's superstardom cast a shadow so massive, Bianca was never allowed to step out of it. And the internet being the internet, they started piecing together timelines. They point out that Bianca's big rise could have overlapped directly with Bey's peak. While Beyonce was becoming the global face of black excellence, Bianca climbing into A-list territory might have been seen as a distraction or even competition for the family brand. Messi doesn't even begin to cover it. And honestly, Hollywood history proves this ain't far-fetched. Look back, Janet Jackson's acting career never soared because the Jackson machine locked her into the pop star box. Solange had to carve her own lane in art, fashion, and alternative music because competing head-on with Beyonce was basically career suicide. Families in entertainment know the rule. Only one gets to be the superstar. And when you really line it up, Bianca Lawson had every tool in the bag. The look, the roles, the undeniable skill. She should have been that girl. Instead, she became the actress you recognize but can't quite name. And that's why Richard Lawson hinting at politics cuts so deep, because suddenly, people aren't blaming bad luck anymore. They're asking, did those politics have Beyonce's fingerprints on them? This is where it turns from speculation into straight-up scandal. It's one thing for fans to whisper, Bianca never got her flowers. It's another when people start believing Beyonce herself may have been the reason those flowers never even reached the doorstep. And let's be clear, Beyonce has never spoken about Bianca's career. She doesn't have to. Her silence is loud enough for people to draw their own conclusions. But with Richard Lawson stepping in and dropping that politics bomb, fans feel like the dots are connecting themselves in an industry where power decides everything. Who had more power than Beyonce during the exact years Bianca should have been exploding? The allegations being whispered now are sharp. Bianca was finally building momentum in the late 90s and early 2000s, landing roles on cult shows. But then the brakes got hit, and people think they know who slammed on them. Meanwhile, Beyonce was out here stacking Oscar bait roles like Dreamgirls, building her actress-singer icon package, and cementing herself as untouchable. Two careers moving at the same time. Bianca grinding in TV, Beyonce climbing in music and film. But somehow, only one was allowed to dominate the headlines. And if that sounds far-fetched, please, Hollywood sabotage is practically tradition. Diana Ross was accused of pushing Florence Ballard out of the Supremes. Madonna was rumored to have blackballed younger artists who threatened her crown. Even Kris Jenner's been accused of keeping the spotlight locked on Kim Kardashian while Kourtney and Khloe played background characters in their own family empire. Fame is ruthless, and history repeats itself over and over again. So when Richard Lawson casually said in an interview that Bianca is one of the most talented actresses working today, but talent doesn't always mean you get the opportunities you deserve, sometimes politics are involved. Fans didn't hear Hollywood politics. They heard Knowles Carter politics. He didn't have to drop Beyonce's name. Because when your daughter is Bianca Lawson and your ex-wife is Tina Knowles, who else could he be hinting at? And the whispers go deeper than just blocking Bianca from lead roles. The story online is that Beyonce's camp wanted the entire family brand centered on her, and her alone. Because think about it. What would have happened if the headlines one day read, Beyonce's stepsister becomes Hollywood starlet? Suddenly, Beyonce wouldn't be the only shining star in the Knowles Carter dynasty. And if you know anything about that brand, you know they thrive on control. Now let's be real, none of this is proven. It's all allegedly, streets say, fan speculation. But in gossip culture, perception is everything. And the perception right now is that Beyonce dimmed Bianca's shine on purpose, which makes Richard's politics comment feel less like some vague industry gripe, and way more like confirmation served on a silver platter. He didn't have to say her name. The internet already filled in the blanks, and this is where it flips into chaos, because the internet has turned Bianca versus Beyonce into a family feud. And baby, the comment sections are hotter than an August cookout argument. The second Richard's words about politics hit the blogs, the discourse exploded. On one side, you've got Bianca stans, the loyal ones who've been riding since her Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Pretty Little Liars days. They've been shouting for years that Bianca deserved more, that she's the queen of always booked, never hyped. And to them, Richard's comments are straight up confirmation that something darker kept her locked out of the A-list. And the posts, tweets, and TikToks came rolling in fast. People were venting. I'm so over this witchcraft, warlock, voodoo having nonsense. Everybody not kissing Beyonce's behind or scared of her. Chloe and Halle could have been headlining on the Renaissance tour or Cowboy Carter tour, but maybe they were signed just to be stalled. Others added, it's a common industry tactic to stop competition. Sign them, shelve them, kill their momentum. And the real dagger? I'm glad folks finally speaking out about this witch. She always acting like everyone else is the drama, when really it's her. Whether it's messy conspiracy or raw frustration, one thing's clear. The internet has officially declared war over Bianca's lost shine, and Beyonce is at the center of it whether she likes it or not. Back in the 2000s, gossip blogs and blind items kept hinting about a world-famous singer who froze out another woman in her circle to protect her brand, and the internet never forgot. Tumblr threads have long accused Beyonce of being cutthroat behind the scenes, pointing to how she pivoted from Destiny's Child to a solo career, while Latavia and LaToya vanished from the spotlight. Whether that's fair or not, those whispers laid the foundation for the Bianca debate. The drama doubled when fans started making side-by-side edits on Twitter and TikTok. Bianca's acting highlights rolled next to clips of Beyonce's movie roles with captions like "Lawson deserved the Oscars." Others flipped it, posting Beyonce's Grammy moments while labeling Bianca the booked and busy background actress. And this isn't just stan wars, it's family. That's what makes it sting harder. We're talking stepsisters. This isn't about strangers competing in Hollywood. It's about whether Beyonce allegedly sabotaged her own kin to protect the throne. So now, the conversation isn't just about Hollywood politics. It's about family politics. And family politics, they always cut deeper because betrayal is baked right in. At the core, this isn't just another rumor floating through Hollywood, it's a family story, wrapped up in fame, blended marriages, and the messiness of blood versus brand. That's why Richard Lawson's words hit like a bomb, because when you peel back the layers, you're not just looking at Bianca Lawson's career or Beyonce's superstardom. You're looking at what happens when two women, tied by both family and talent, end up on completely different levels of fame, with whispers that one deliberately kept the other from climbing higher. Let's rewind. Richard Lawson married Tina Knowles in 2015, officially blending the Lawson and Knowles households. On paper, it looked like a dream dynasty. Bianca Lawson, respected actress with decades of TV credits, now tied to Beyonce and Solange, the reigning queens of music. Fans assumed everybody under that roof would shine, but instead, Bianca's career stayed in the same lane. Consistent, respected, but never explosive. And when Richard brought up politics, people couldn't help but wonder if those politics live right under his own roof. And history proves family and fame rarely mix smoothly. Look at the Jacksons. Michael's superstardom eclipsed his siblings and left scars that lasted a lifetime. Or the Kardashians. Kim's spotlight swallowed Kourtney and Khloe's identities for years. In families where fame is currency, usually only one person gets to dominate. So when Beyonce cemented herself as a global icon, it's not a stretch for people to imagine Bianca's shine might have been seen as a potential distraction. What makes it hurt even more is that Bianca isn't just any actress. Her peers respect her, co-stars rave about her, directors praise her work ethic. She's crossed genres, played teens well into her 30s, and delivered in shows that defined whole eras of television. In another universe, she'd have the Emmys, the Golden Globes, the blockbuster lead roles. Instead, she became the professional scene stealer, the actress you recognize instantly but can't always name. And that gap between Bianca's talent and her recognition, that's the exact space fans now fill with allegations of Beyonce's sabotage. Richard Lawson may never outright say Beyonce blocked my daughter, but fans feel like he already did the moment he blamed politics for Bianca's stalled rise. And knowing how fiercely Beyonce protects her image, her brand, her crown, it's not hard for people to believe she wouldn't want anyone, even family, threatening that empire. So what happens next? Bianca Lawson will likely keep doing what she's always done, taking roles, delivering flawless performances, and being the actress you know even if you don't know her name. Beyonce will keep reigning untouchable as Queen Bey, unbothered and unchallenged. And Richard, his words cracked the door open just enough for the internet to storm through with its own narrative. Because here's the truth, whether Beyonce sabotaged Bianca's career or not, it almost doesn't matter anymore. The rumor is alive, the debate is trending, and Bianca's name is finally being spoken with the respect and curiosity it has always deserved. If fame is a game of power, Beyonce may have already won. But if history remembers Bianca as the star who was never allowed to rise, Richard Lawson's quiet confirmation could end up rewriting the entire family legacy.